Welcome to Network Media Hub at 1, the lunchtime show sharing news from across the country. My name is Priska Agnolo, and thank you so much for joining us. Let's get the show on the road. Today we travel to Oshwarongo, Ongwediva, and the coast. Namibia's Agribank, in their economic outlook issued this morning, said with better rainfall, the country may increase crop harvest this year. Good rain will also support the restoration of grazing conditions. Agribank expects moderate growth in the agriculture sector during 2021. Today's COVID-19 monitor shows the total number of active cases in Namibia's different regions. The country's recovery rate remains at 96%. Also, last week saw the first daily occurrence of fewer than 100 cases since early December, which was nearly 2 months ago. During the past week, the Swakopmund Health District, which includes the towns of Arandes and Henties Bay, surpassed 2,000 cases in total. Active cases declined in 6 of the 14 regions. Windhoek now only has 88 active cases, the Shakati District 37 and Hardap Region 16. Amongst others, Irongo with 137 active cases, Oshikoto 137, both Kavango regions 256 in total, and Zambezi with 135 showed an increase in new cases. Moving on to our video inserts for today. During a visit to Oshwarongo, the Secretary General of the Teachers Union of Namibia, Mahongora Kavihua, warned the Ministry of Education to start planning ahead and not wait until overcrowding in classrooms becomes dire, resulting in students being accommodated in tents. Esther Kamati was there.
My question that how many kids were born last year? You know, that arrogantly that high official answered to me that go to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Then I came back and said that, do you know why I'm asking the question? No, we don't register the kids. I said that, do you know that in the next 6, 5, 7 years, you should be able to know how many classrooms you need. So you must know how many kids were born today for you to plan for the next 6, 7 years. But this is not happening. We just respond to when the situation arises, we erect tents and we do whatsoever. It means that it's not any more business as usual. We need to start planning, and we cannot allow the situations where the qualified teachers are roaming the streets, and while the classrooms are not constructed, and our kids are being, pushed for them to suffocate themselves in one small rooms. So we are ensuring that giving teachers instructions that you have to stick to the agreed ratio. And if you are not doing so, if those teachers who want to overcrowd the classrooms beyond the given norm or ratio, they should realize that number one, you the teacher who's teaching more than 30 or more than 35 in the classroom, number one, you are selfish. Number two, you don't care about the health of those kids. Number three, you don't care about the quality of teaching. And number four, you are one of the citizens that break the rules. You are selfish in the sense that if you have 50 kids in the classroom and you have an unemployed person outside in the street, what are you doing? We have been proven that the more the classrooms are overcrowded, the more unhealthy the environment is. So you are not taking care of that one. It has been proven that the more the learners are in the class, the less attention you give to each and every learner. So you compromise the quality of education. So we are calling upon both the teachers to ensure that we stick to the right norms. We are calling upon the learners to refuse. They themselves must refuse to be taught in a class where they are more than the agreed ratio. We are calling the parents to refuse to take their kids to the class that is more than the ratio. We have been proven that we have enough teachers now. We don't have a problems. What the problem that is there is only the space, and the space can be worked out. We have many buildings, government buildings that are roaming around that can be converted into a class in a week, in a week's time. So we don't need to deal with that one. Now, and as if the situations of the overcrowding class is not enough, our schools have now become
Millennium Refrigerator and Electrical Services recently donated an Aeromax air purifier to Ongwediva Medipark worth 30,000 Namibian dollars. The purifier will be used for emergency units at the hospital. Managing Director Parastas Nepolo shows Ongwediva Medipark MD Dr. Tsali Ifete and staff how to use the purifier. This footage is contributed by Tuyemo Haidula.
The first speed you just adjusted here, you can see it's almost like a cell phone network. Now it's maximum. But once you are using it in the room continuously, you don't need to maximize it, because to run continuously, you just need to reduce it. Maybe two bars. It will be okay, because it runs now continuously, But once you start it, if you take it to the room, maximize it even for an hour or two, so that it captures those bacteria and viruses and others, those airborne particles, so that they absorb quickly, so that it can now start doing its work. After an hour, you just reduce it to at least 2 bars. So let's see if 5 minutes can go without changing the color to orange. Maybe the movement was quick. Yeah.
And now for our third video insert. Irene Marie van der Valt, a member of our Irongo team, spoke to Clint Barnard about their beach cleanup project over the weekend.
With me is Clint Barnard. He is one of the organizers of the beach cleanup today from miles 6 to 14 in Swakopmund. Hi Clint, how are you?
I'm very well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. So Clint, why did you guys decide to organize this beach cleanup?
Like previously mentioned, every time we get to our favorite fishing spots, there's a lot of rubbish laying around. And it got to the point that we actually stopped fishing to start to pick up the trash.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 minutes and we were out of plastic bags.
Yeah.
So some people from Swako brought for us, and then we actually realized how much there is.
Yeah.
And that's when we decided to start.
Clint, today has been quite a success, I would say. How do you feel about the people that came out and the organization of the day?
To be honest, I'm taken away. I didn't think there were so many people going to show up. Very proud of Lindy. She did a lot of effort doing this project. But yeah, immense turnout of all the people that came here.
Yeah.
Actually proud in Namibia.
Yes. Yes.
Very nice to see.
And Clint, how many people would you say roughly showed up today?
150 plus, I think. The last time I looked in the book, there were over 100 people that signed in. So that was about 2 hours ago. So
Yeah.
what happened in between.
Yeah. And roughly how much do you think has been picked up today?
I'd say about 250 to 300 bags already. It's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it's looking good.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Clint.
Anytime.
Up next, we have a look at today's front pages. Namibian Sun reports that government's plan to downsize the public service can only start once money is available for options like early retirement. The finance minister mentioned an amount of about 2 billion Namibian dollars. Republican leads with sea flower pelagic processing, a former partner of Fish Corps, taking Fisheries Minister Dr. Albert Kawana to task about cancelling contracts and quotas without approval by the cabinet and without having due regard for the law. The Allgemeine Zeitung leads with the court appearance of the former teacher at Yanmuer Secondary School, who was charged with 2 counts of rape yesterday. According to the Namibian, the governor of the Ongwediva region defended a school hostel consisting of sink houses or kambashus, saying pupils live in worse circumstances at their homes. New Era reports that, like elsewhere, questions are also locally being asked about how effective the AstraZeneca vaccine against COVID-19 will be. Namibia's first batch of vaccines may be of this type because it can be stored at lower temperatures than in ultra-freezing facilities. Let's visit the marketplace before we page inside the newspapers. Today, the art of pizza is celebrated worldwide, and one of the places you can bust your pizza hunger is the Pizza Inn franchise. MarketWatch zooms in on the performance of stock listed on the local NSX over the past year. COVID-19 had a mixed influence, with some stock actually improving in price. Get your youth and schools news in the zone every Tuesday. And on the political front, Namibian Sun delves into allegations of authoritarianism in the Independent Patriots for Change, the political party born out of Dr. Panduleni Itula's independent presidential run 6 years ago. Republican reports that Meadco will focus more on Norway as an export market due to continued unclarity about trade between the United Kingdom and the European Union caused by Brexit. Allgemeine Zeitung, Namibia's oldest newspaper, daily looks back 50 years into our history. After good rains like we are experiencing this year, the main roads between Windhoek and Gobabis, as well as the south at Daneveld, were washed away in 1971. The Namibian tells how funding with a disability grant kick-started a soup kitchen for children in Kamanyab. And New Era reports that 3 of the 4 accused caught with cannabis worth about 800,000 Namibian dollars over the weekend are soldiers in the Namibian Defence Force. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our show. Do have a joyful and safe Tuesday, and do stay tuned for the weather highlights as well. From me, Priska Agnolo, that is a wrap until I catch up with you again tomorrow, same time, same place.